Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome back to another episode of Fins News. So this is our third part to our four-part series. We're going to be looking at weeks 9 through 13. I know we've only been doing 4 weeks at a time. The only reason we're going from 9 to 13 is obviously our bye weeks in week 11. We don't have a game that day, so we're going to extend it to week 13 to get our 4 games in that we're going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So the Miami Dolphins are flying high. After if you've been following the series, they had a 2-2 stretch to begin the season because of their tough matchups that they have week in and week out. Weeks 5 through 8, that's when we got in a little bit of run that most Dolphin fans, I'm hoping, expect with the Jets, the Vikings, and the Steelers and the Lions. I think we can take all 4 of those games, if not 4, at least 3-1 in that stretch. So the Miami Dolphins go into week 9 on the road. They're still flying high with a 6-2 record, and they're taking on the Chicago Bears. The only thing that I'm concerned about really in this game is being able to contain Justin Fields. The Miami Dolphins defense, even though it's been excellent for the last couple years, or really 3 years they've been solid. The last 2 years they've been excellent. They've always had a tough time. That's why Josh Allen has continued to beat us. We always have a tough time with a running style quarterback, or a quarterback that can. He's not just a runner or a thrower. He can do both, kind of like a dual threat. That's what Josh Allen is. We were able to stymie, obviously, Lamar Jackson last year, but at this point of his career, I mean, he can do both, but I mean, he's more feared as a runner, in my opinion, than a passer. But like the Josh Allens, the Justin Fields, they can sit there in the pocket and they have cannons and they can dissect you, but they also can escape the pocket, and they're big, strong, fast. They have plays called for them to run the ball. They have scripted plays like that. That's how big and powerful and strong he is. He's bigger than some linebackers out there, with his 4.4 speed. So, I mean, he's a freak of nature, guys. It's gonna be. I like Justin Fields a lot. Um, I think he needs to get better, of course, at reading the defense, but he has all the attributes to be a solid NFL quarterback. He has the legs, he has the strength, he has the arm, he has the height. The only thing that I would say that's going to hurt Justin Fields, if it hurts him, is his. Even in college, I mean, he's always been hurt in every step in his career. Even if you go back, I don't know if you guys even watched him play in high school. Even in high school, he was hurt. I mean, so this is a known thing for Justin Fields. I mean, he always, for some reason or another, has a nagging injury. Even last year in the NFL, he was hurt and missed a few games. So that's what is gonna stop, I believe, Justin Fields from being a great quarterback in the NFL if he can never stay healthy. But I mean, I just think right now in his career against Tua's career, I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup, guys. We have a way better defense than the Bears right now, I think, in my opinion. I mean, maybe a few years ago, the Bears defense was, I mean, nasty and got after it, but I don't really have any fear in the Bears defense at all anymore, especially now that they lost Khalil Mack. So, I mean, I see from the opening series, the Miami Dolphins need to go down the field, prove a point, um, show their dominance over the team. How we have a better overall roster than you guys, and we're gonna take it to you, even if we're at your house. We're gonna pretty much knock your head off, and I think that's what the Dolphins will be doing at this point in the season. They're on week 9. They're on a 5 game winning streak, so they're feeling good about themselves, and they just go to Chicago and pretty much leave no doubt. I'm gonna say this game's one of the few games that I'm gonna call a blowout this year. I think the Dolphins go into Chicago and beat the Bears 31-14. Just really hammer them and just show that we're for real this year, and we're gonna be a team to be reckoned with later on in the season when we play even tougher competition. So I see us easily beating the Chicago Bears this year, even though they have a few nice pieces. Like I said, Justin Fields. They have that David Montgomery running back, I believe. They have a couple good receivers as well, but I think at the end of the day, the Dolphins defense is going to be too much for Justin Fields. They're going to confuse him a couple times in this game, maybe have 2 interceptions, maybe even one to the house. So that's what I see our score being 31-13 and a pretty much a blowout in the NFL. And then it's going to be week 10. It's going to be probably an emotional week for Tua, especially if Deshaun Watson is playing. They are playing at home against the Cleveland Browns. It's week 10, and from all the reports now about the NFL and the investigation on Deshaun Watson, maybe he does get a full year, guys, and then we won't see Deshaun Watson. We'll see Jacoby Brissett, and that's going to be even a fun matchup to have to play our old quarterback last year. I don't think he won his one game last year whenever Tua was hurt. I know a lot of people in the Miami Dolphins fan base can't stand Jacoby Brissett for some reason. I know he didn't win us any games, but I mean, I didn't have too big of an issue with him, but I knew he wasn't that guy. I mean, he's not a backup that you're going to be able to lean on to win some games like you can with maybe a Teddy Bridgewater this year. Or even whenever they bench Ryan Fitzpatrick and he can come in and win a game because we've seen him win games when he was the starter, right? So I think that either way you look at it, I mean, this game, the Cleveland Browns have a great roster. I think they have, in my opinion, one of the best rosters in the entire league. They have 2 great running backs. They have a solid offensive line. They have 2 solid tight ends. They have their weapons at wide receiver can be better, but they still got the People Jones or something like that. And then they have a good team. Their defense is stacked on their corners are just as good as our corners. Their linebackers are arguably better than our linebackers. Their front seven is arguably better than our front seven. These 2 rosters are really good, and it's gonna be a. I mean, if Deshaun Watson is playing, I'm gonna say this is a loss. If Jacoby Brissett's playing, I think the Dolphins come out with a victory there, just because I don't think Jacoby Brissett's going to be able to put up as many points as Tua and our offense is going to be able to put up against their defense. I think it's going to be a low scoring game either way. Deshaun Watson, if he's playing, he's going to have trouble against our defense too, because I mean, our defense should be top 5 this year, guys, and no questions asked. We kept everybody. We added a few pieces. There should be no reason why our defense is not a top 5 unless our offense isn't keeping the defense off the field and they become tired later on in the games and they end up giving up, 14 to 17 points that they never would have if they weren't as tired. But I don't see that happen this year. I really feel like our offense is going to complement our defense and vice versa. But if Deshaun Watson is playing in Week 10, I think this is where we take our 3rd loss of the season. I think their roster is just slightly better than ours. Just their defense is right there with us, but they could even be better than our defense just because their front seven's more proven, their linebackers are a little more proven, and their corners are right there with our corners, and they have great safety play. So they have playmakers at every phase of the defense. I mean, I think, if Deshaun Watson's there, that will be the 3rd loss of the season. I think if Jacoby Brissett is playing in Week 10, I still think that's a win for us. It'll be a low scoring, maybe like 17-14 game or 17-7 game. But there's not going to be a lot of points. Points are going to be at a premium for this game for sure. So that's kind of a to be determined, I guess you would say, guys. I mean, like I said, if Watson's playing, that's our 3rd loss. If Watson's not playing, then we're still only at 2 losses right now, which is great in Week 10 of the season. What are you, 8-2 at this point if they get this win? Really showing their dominance over the league, that they're here to mean business. They're not here just to be pretenders. They're contenders all the way. And then Week 11, I love where our bye's at in Week 11. It's not too early, not too late. I mean, I think Week 11 we'll better get our guys healthy for the last 6-7 games of the season, just to get their body right, get their mind right, reset, and then they have a sprint to the finish at an 8-2 record, flying high, and then they play the Houston Texans at home. I mean, I know Davis Mills had a great rookie year that wasn't expected at all, but I mean, this should be another one of those. I've called one blowout with the Bears so far. This one's not even hard to, or even to fathom that this game will be close, in my opinion. I mean, They have a couple nice pieces here and there, but their roster, if you compare it to ours, that's nowhere close. They're in a rebuild mode. We're in a compete now mode. I mean, Tua's going to have some plays. They're going to play a lot of zone defense with the young defense that they're trying to groom. Tua should be able to pick them apart all day long with Hill and Waddle and Gasecki, and we'll be able to run the ball. I think our defense will shut down Davis Mills and any type of offense they're not going to have sustained offenses this game. I think the Dolphins beat the Texans 28-10 with another blowout, maybe even 31-10. It's not going to be a close game. I think that improves their record to 9-2. And then for the last game we'll be talking about in this third part to our four-part series is going on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. This is like kind of our last portion of the schedule where it is going to get a lot tougher. Traveling all the way to San Francisco, even with the big win streak, their defense is loaded with the leader of Nick Bosa, getting after the quarterback. They have people on their front seven that just get after the quarterback nonstop. It's going to be real emotional for Mike McDaniel going back home where he was with Shanahan for so many years. And I mean, it's just going to be an emotional game overall for Mike McDaniel. And the 49ers are a good team, man. I mean, what? They were a play here or a play there for getting to the Super Bowl last year. That was with Jimmy G, and who knows what that situation is going to be if they're going to trade him or if they don't believe in Trey Lance, so they keep him around another year, which I don't see how they don't move Jimmy G and keep Trey Lance because they gave up so much draft capital just to go up to get Trey Lance. And if they don't have confidence in him now in his second year, that's saying a lot about what they believe Trey Lance can be, even if he is a raw product. So Trey Lance is going to present a lot of problems for the Dolphins, like I said, because he's a physical runner and he has a cannon for an arm. And there's not a lot of film on him. We don't really know what he can do. So it's going to be the only good thing for us is that we had Mike McDaniel in San Francisco. So, I mean, he pretty much knows Trey Lance's strengths and weaknesses. But I see this being a really close and hard-fought game. And I think this is either where we get our third or fourth loss, depending on the whole Deshaun Watson thing, like I said when I said earlier, if he plays or not. But either way, guys, it's going to be a hard-fought, competitive game on the road. Both teams are playing for something, in my opinion. I think the 49ers are. I mean, Shanahan's such a good coach, and I think they just have a great culture there, and they're gonna be playing for something, either trying to stay in the division or trying to get one of the wild card spots. They'll be playing for something at this time, and I think it's gonna be a close game, like I said, and I think we lose maybe 24-21 on a last second field goal. This is a kind of a coin flip game, though, in my opinion, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we won the game. I just think it's going to be a really competitive game. I know last time we went to San Francisco, we whooped on them with Fitzpatrick, and I don't think it's going to be the same. I don't think it's going to happen the same way this time, guys. So, I mean, either way, though, if you told me through 13 weeks of the season, the Miami Dolphins record is what? Either 9-3 or 9-3 or 8-4, I would take that with 5 games left to play in the season for the just getting ready for December, playing meaningful December football, which is always a plus. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about these 4 games, and if you think I am right on the money, if what our schedule would look like after the 13th week of the season. So, like I said, guys, we would be either 9-3 or 8-4, depending with the whole Astra game with the Browns. But still, I feel like that's a great record. But let me know what you guys think after 13 weeks of the season, what our record would be. And like always, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And if you guys are new to this channel, if you guys can please just hit that subscribe button, that like, just so we can help build this channel organically like we have been for the last 6 months. And once again, guys, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I love each and every one of y'all. And you guys have a great day. I'm out. Fins up. Peace.